Good morning. As you all continue to come to the Epstein files and come to the revelation that white billionaire, millionaire men are disgusting, terrible human beings, if we can call them human beings, I just want to say this. Black people tried to tell you. We tried to tell you. On a serious note. Cannibalism, human trafficking, child sexual abuse is this country's MO, modus operandi. But no one cared enough when it was happening to Black people.
What y'all are reading in these Epstein files was just a regular day on a slave plantation. You just care now that you know that the victims look like you.
Notice how absolutely nobody has mentioned how they blatantly said they only go after white babies. Usually y'all obsess over that race thing. If one thing's specific to one race, they proudly hold it true. Why is nobody mentioning that? They say they only eat the white babies. Their enemies. They say that's their enemies, the white babies. So, what's going on with that?
So I took it upon myself to go look at your entire TikTok page dating all the way back to 2022. And to my surprise, you don't have one video talking about how Black babies were used as gator bait. Nothing about 12 using them as target practice. Not only did they essay them, in a lot of cases they ate them. And while you're in the midst of your spiritual awakening, understand that Black Americans have always been woke. And we try to warn you. Now, if when Black Americans talk about the hateful, racist, heinous acts that white Americans done to our ancestors, even done to us in this day and time, the number one thing that gets thrown in our face is the word victim. They're so quick to say we're playing victim. And they always manage to find a different way to commit the same crimes against us as they did our ancestors. They just do it in a different way. If they don't care when it's coming from us about us, what makes you think they're going to listen to us when it's coming from us about white babies? And we do it anyways. Instead of you worrying about what we saying, you got a whole mouth and a platform. Use it.
This is not new to the Black community. And this time round, God said this is not happening to them again. I want us to watch these reactions that I have here. And of course, I'll be reacting at the end of the video. So make sure that you watch to the very end. Do subscribe, do like the video, share the content. I'm going to greatly appreciate. For now, let's rock in there.
Good morning. As you all continue to come to the Epstein files and come to the revelation that white billionaire, millionaire men are disgusting, terrible human beings, if we can call them human beings, I just want to say this. Black people tried to tell you. We tried to tell you. On a serious note. Cannibalism, human trafficking, child sexual abuse is this country's MO, modus operandi. But no one cared enough when it was happening to Black people, per usual. So now we're acting all surprised when you could have read in your history book that your founding father had human teeth in his mouth that didn't belong to him. Wonder where he got those from. You could have read about how they fed Black babies to animals. You could have read in your history books, maybe not your history books, but a history book, about how they sexually abused women and children in order to keep their operations going with free labor. Yeah. I'm not saying don't engage with the awfulness of what is being revealed. I am saying please stop acting surprised, particularly when you are posting videos that will be seen by Black Americans who exist here because our ancestors were literal human trafficking victims. I laugh because it's like the ahistorical nature of some of your distraughtness is befuddling. I would love us to live in a world where we can acknowledge the realities of what is. Maybe then we can stop being so shocked and appalled every time something terrible happens and actually realize that this is all just building off of a foundation of the violence in which this country was founded. Not to mention it's Black History Month. Like, take a break with the Epstein files and go read a Black History book. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
There's nothing in those Epstein files that has not been done in slavery. And the reason why so many black people are upset is not because, we're trying to make it about us, but it's the fact that we told y'all they did the same thing to us in slavery, or honestly, even after slavery. And y'all told us that it was a long time ago, so we should forget about it. And now these Epstein files are out, and now everyone's like, they're eating kids and they're doing this, which, mind you, very big deal. You should be angry. Not trying to take away from that. However, though, when it was us, nobody cared. Nobody gave a crap when we brought this up about slavery. Y'all, I feel like a lot of y'all truly thought that slavery was just working a job you didn't want to work and you weren't getting paid to do it. That's not what slavery was. That was probably if anything, that was probably the not even the tip of the iceberg of slavery. That was not even the tip. The grotesque and disgusting things they did to us as black people, and they still do to us, and we talk about all the time and no one gives a shit. It's very annoying to see all y'all being shocked about this now when we've been voicing this for years. And even without that, but Renee Good and Alex Preddy being unalived, unfortunately, which is still very sad. Again, I'm not trying to take away attention from them because they deserve attention. They were what happened to them was sick. It was genuinely sick. But what happened to them is not uncommon in the black community. This has been happening in America. This is nothing new to us. And we voiced this all the time because, again, Keith Porter also was unalived. Nobody gave a fuck. There was not this big uproar until Renee Good got shot. And does she deserve people to care? Of course she does. I care. I'm very upset that woman got unalived. She didn't deserve that. She literally did nothing wrong. There's nothing in any way, shape, or form you can try to convince me that she deserved that. But neither did Keith Porter. Neither did all the other black people we talk about all the time that get unalived or assaulted or just wrongfully accused or just have all this awful stuff done to us. Y'all never care. Because I've been seeing some videos or comments being like, this is the America I grew up in and blah, 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 usually from white people. And yes, it is. What they're doing right now is nothing new. It's new to y'all. And the thing is with white people, if y'all don't experience it for yourselves, you just assume it's not a thing. You assume that it's not a thing, it's not real, or if it is real, then it's not that big of a deal and it was long ago, so whatever, who cares? Y'all only care when it's y'all, and that's why it got to this point. Because the truth, if y'all would have listened and watched all the signs of what they did to black Americans and other brown people, y'all would have known that they were always capable of doing shit like this. This is nothing new. I'm going to keep saying that. This is nothing new. This has been going on the entire time America has been founded. Y'all just didn't care because it was not you.
What y'all are reading in these Epstein files was just a regular day on a slave plantation. You just care now that you know that the victims look like you, that the women and the children look like you. They've been eating kids. They've been torturing kids. They've been mutilating kids and women. They've been experimenting on women and children. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but y'all's beloved founding fathers were monsters. The ones that y'all love to romanticize and throw up on monuments. Complete monsters. Those Disney princesses, Pocahontas, her name was Matoka. She wasn't a princess by any means. There was no love. Her name was Matoka, and John Smith and his crew sexually assaulted her up until her dying day. She was a child. The Epstein files is not new. The Epstein files is who this country is and has always been. It's so wild watching you all be completely shocked and flabbergasted at what you're reading in the Epstein files, as if like slave memoirs and narrative didn't tell you all exactly who these people were and who they have been. If you are at all shocked and surprised by what rich white men will do without any checks or balances or accountability to women, children, and girls, you exist in this country from a place of privilege. A lot of us been knowing.
First, we had Trump Epstein with this BS.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. Now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
And to piggyback off of what he just said, we now have an Epstein survivor, Haley Robson, saying this.
Do you think that America will ever learn the names of these other men that you and other survivors have said trafficked them? Because there's a lot of other men whose names continue to be redacted.
So I would like to be honest in answering this, and I hope I don't offend the media. I absolutely do think it's possible, but I think for now, I think the goal or maybe a game plan should be let's back off Trump for a little bit and stop making it about him because there are other men that are equally involved in those files. So let's refocus the energy on some of the other men that are or have already been named. And let's open up an investigation and see if they are going to implicate other men in the process. Let's wait and see what the Clintons do. Maybe they'll be the ones to save the day. But I definitely think it's possible if we can refocus our energy on not just Trump.
Based on a review of documents released by the Department of Justice, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump's name, along with reference to his property and family, appears around 38,000 times across more than 5,300 files. And even though a mention of the name in those files doesn't automatically assume documented wrongdoings or evidence of guilt, when it comes to said president, there's allegations of actual misconduct, trafficking, as well as unaliving of young children. And I said that to say this. Haley Robinson, you really expect for us to refocus our energy off of Trump onto other men in the file? I would ask you to be for real, but the fact that you said that on national television lets me know that you were serious. Not only will we not refocus our energy off of Donald Trump, we're going to also use the same energy to get the other names released, as you can see. And I have one request. Can we get a new spokesperson for the Epstein victims? Haley, I'm going to keep it real with you. It don't set right with me with you coming out asking us to refocus our energy on other men in the files when said president was third in command. I don't trust you. I can't figure out the connection other than the fact you are a victim in the Epstein files, but there's something deeper and I don't feel right about it. So your request is denied.
Everything described in those files and everything that took place on that island is the same exact thing that took place during slavery with black women and black children and black men. Let's not forget. Happy Black History Month.
So what I just had heard from the cousins on Threads is apparently there is no black women in the Epstein files because Epstein himself said, I don't ever want niggas on this island. I'm not supposed to laugh, am I? Say that's the only reason that there is no in the files, in that evidence to be found. Because down with the niggas. Down with the niggas. You know what, God? You be doing your little thing. Sometimes we don't understand. But I see you. I see the vision. Because all we can say is shout out to God on that one. Because what? It's not funny. It's not funny.
Now, whatever that has happened, in those Epstein files cannot be compared to what happened to many black Americans. And it can never be compared to the effects that whatever black people have been through, it has had in their life. And I love the fact that this time round it is not happening to them. Of course, I could see there's a place where Epstein never wanted, any black people. And for this case, I guess maybe it's because of racism that he chose not to come or not to see the black women in his own island. But it turns out that this racism becomes beneficial to the very community that has been through a lot for centuries. And this is not new to black Americans. there's a lot that has been going on, and we've not been seeing it being addressed. And I'm very sure if the people that were involved in those files were black people, then it could not have taken that long, to put everyone into jail. Right now, they will be serving their jail sentences. Maybe some who would be charged to be executed. Maybe that will be done by now. But now, this shows you how white privilege works. Of course, I usually see a lot of people saying that there's nothing like white privilege. I usually see a lot of people say that there's nothing like favor for this particular group. And I would love to see them answer now these questions. Why are we still talking about the Epstein files? Yet it is very simple. They should be taken to court, and every culprit, be brought to book. Every actions of every culprit be brought to book. But we've not seen that happen. We are seeing a lot of stories and a lot of confusion, so that people can shift the focus and not look at the Epstein files, because there are people who are in there that are so powerful and that are very protected by the same system that they keep on feeding. And now this confirms that there's nothing like equality, there's nothing that like equity, there's nothing like equals. We have people who feel superior. We have people who feel like they are in control and they can do anything and go away with it. But can this happen to black folks? Now, for those people who do say that there is no white privilege, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear you answer now this question. Why do you say so? And we still have this happening. Why the story has taken so long before every person that is involved being held accountable. Now, drop your views there, drop your thoughts. I would love to get those answers in the comment section, because every person has an opinion, and we are given that freedom of expression, and that sometimes we get to have different opinion, sometimes we get to have same opinion, but as to many who have a contrary opinion, please answer my questions in the comment section, and do tell us your take on this in the comment section. Like the video, share the content. I'm going to greatly appreciate. For now, I would like to bring it to a close here, and really hope to see you soon. Let's engage in the comment section and get to learn from each other. Goodbye, folks. See you soon.